Whatever the lagging dragging journey may have been to the rest of the emigrants, it was a wonder and delight to the children, a world of enchantment, and they believed it to be peopled with the mysterious dwarfs and giants and goblins that figured in the tales the Negro slaves were in the habit of telling them nightly by the shuddering light of the kitchen fire. At the end of nearly a week of travel, the party went into camp near a shabby village which was caving, house by house, into the hungry Mississippi. The river astonished the children beyond measure. Its mile breadth of water seemed an ocean to them, in the shadowy twilight, and the vague ribbon of trees on the further shore, the verge of a continent which surely none but they had ever seen before. Uncle Daniel, colored, aged 40, his wife, Aunt Ginny, aged 30, young Miss Emily Hawkins, young Mars Washington Hawkins and young Mars Clay, the new member of the family, ranged themselves on a log, after supper, and contemplated the marvelous river and discussed it. The moon rose and sailed aloft through a maze of shredded cloud wreaths. The somber river just perceptibly brightened under the veiled light. A deep silence pervaded the air and was emphasized, at intervals, rather than broken, by the hooting of an owl, the baying of a dog, or the muffled crash of a carving bank in the distance. The little company assembled on the log were all children, at least in simplicity and broad and comprehensive ignorance, and the remarks they made about the river were in keeping with the character, and so awed were they by the grandeur and the solemnity of the scene before them, and by their belief that the air was filled with invisible spirits and that the faint zephyrs were caused by their passing wings, that all their talk took to itself a tinge of the supernatural, and their voices were subdued to a low and reverent tone. Suddenly Uncle Daniel exclaimed, "Chillin, das some finna comin'." P036.jpg, 42K. All crowded close together and every heart beat faster. Uncle Daniel pointed down the river with his bony finger. A deep coughing sound troubled the stillness, way toward a wooded cape that jetted into the stream a mile distant. All in an instant a fierce eye of fire shot out from behind the cape and sent a long brilliant pathway quivering athwart the dusky water. The coughing grew louder and louder, the glaring eye grew larger and still larger, glared wilder and still wilder. A huge shape developed itself out of the gloom, and from its tall duplicate horns dense volumes of smoke, starred and spangled with sparks, poured out and went tumbling away into the farther darkness. Nearer and nearer the thing came, till its long sides began to glow with spots of light which mirrored themselves in the river and attended the monster like a torchlight procession. "What is it? Oh, what is it, Uncle Daniel?" With deep solemnity the answer came. "It's de Almighty. Get down on yo' knees." It was not necessary to say it twice. They were all kneeling, in a moment. And then while the mysterious coughing rose stronger and stronger and the threatening glare reached farther and wider, the Negro's voice lifted up its supplications. "O Lord, we spend mighty wicked, and we knows dat we 'serve to go to de bad place, but good Lord, dear Lord, we ain't ready yit, we ain't ready, let dese but chillun have one mo chance, just one mo chance. Take de ol' nigga if you's got to have somebody dat, good Lord, good dear Lord. We don't know why you's a gwine to, we don't know who you's got yo' eye on, but we knows by de way you's a comin', we knows by de way you's a tiltin' along in yo' chariot o' fire dat some sinners a gwine to catch it. But good Lord, das chillun don't belong here, dey's FM Obstown why dey don't know nothing, and you knows, yo' own sayf, dat dey ain't 'sponsible. And dear Lord, good Lord, it ain't like yo' mercy, it ain't like yo' pity, it ain't like yo' long-sufferin' lovin' kindness for to take dis kind o' vantage o' sick little chillun as doses when dey's so many ornery grown folks chuck full o' cussedness dat once roastin' down da. Oh, Lord, spot a little chillun, don't tar de little chillun away FM dey friends, just let em off just dis once, and take it out in de ol' nigga. Here I is, Lord, here I is. De ol' nigga is ready, Lord, de ol'." The flaming and churning steamer was right abreast the party, and not 20 steps away. The awful thunder of a mud valve suddenly burst forth, drowning the prayer, and as suddenly Uncle Daniel snatched a child under each arm and scoured into the woods with the rest of the pack at his heels. And then, ashamed of himself, he halted in the deep darkness and shouted, but rather feebly, "Here I is, Lord, here I is." P038.jpg, 39K. There was a moment of throbbing suspense, and then, to the surprise and the comfort of the party, it was plain that the august presence had gone by, for its dreadful noises were receding. Uncle Daniel headed a cautious reconnaissance in the direction of the log. Sure enough, the Lord was just turning a point a short distance up the river, and while they looked the lights winked out and the coughing diminished by degrees and presently ceased altogether. HWSH. Well, nowadays some folks says they ain't no efficiency in pra. Dis Chile would like to know why we'd have been now if it warn't FO.pra? Dat's it. Dat's it. Uncle Daniel, do you reckon it was the prayer that saved us? Said Clay. Does I reckon? Don't I know it? What was yo eyes? Warn't de Lord Jessa cuman chow? Chow. Chow. And a goin' on towable and do de Lord carry on dat way doubt days somethin' don't suit him? And warn't he a lookin' right at dis gang here, and warn't he just a reachin' for em? And you spec he gwine to let em off doubt somebody ast him to do it? No indeedy. Do you reckon he saw us, Uncle Daniel? De law's sakes, Chile, didn't I see him a-lookin' at us? Did you feel scared, Uncle Daniel? No, saw. When a man is gauged in pra, he ain't 'fraid o' nothin', they can't nothin' tetch him. Well, what did you run for? Well, I am Ars Clay. When a man is under the influence o' be disparate, he do know what he's 'bout. No, saw, dat man do know what he's 'bout. You mout taken to de head off en dat man and he wouldn't scasely find it out. Dates de Hebrew chill en dat when froag de fire, dey was burnt considerable obi coast dey was, but dey didn't know nothin' 'bout it. He'll right up agin, if dey'd been gals dey'd miss dey long hair, maybe, but dey wouldn't felt de burn. I don't know but what they were girls. I think they were. Now Mars Clay, you knows better'n dat. Sometimes a body can't tell whether you's a sayin' what you means or whether you's a sayin' what you don't mean, case you says em both de same way. But how should I know whether they were boys or girls? Goodness sakes, Mars Clay, don't de good book say? Sides, don't it call em de Hebrew chilen? If dey was gals wouldn't dey be de Hebrew chilen? Some people dat can read don't pair to take no notice when dey do read. Well, Uncle Daniel, I think that here comes another one up the river. There can't be two. We gone dis time, we done gone dis time, show. Dey ain't two, Mars Clay, dey's de same one. De Lord kin pair ebery wa in a second. Goodness, how do fire and de smoke do belch up? Dat mean business, honey. He comin' now like he fo got some fin. Come long, chillin', time you's gwine to roos. Go long would you ol' Uncle Daniel gwine out in de woods to wrastle and pra the ol' nigger gwine to do what he kin to sabe you agin. He did go to the woods and pray, but he went so far that he doubted, himself, if the Lord heard him when he went by. P040.jpg, 28K.